The poem's name is Fear. This poem was written by Khalil Gibran. Khalil Gibran was a Lebanese American poet, means he was born in Lebanon and later on he shifted to America. His famous work is The Prophet. The poem takes two symbols from the nature, that is, the river and the ocean. So, both of these are water bodies. The river is a smaller water body and the ocean is a larger water body. So, the river shakes before entering into the ocean water because it thinks that it will lose its identity. It means that the river is scared of entering into the ocean water because once it enters, nobody can say the difference between river water and ocean water once they are mixed. So, a river's personal identity will be lost. So, the river, it looks back at all the villages and forest it had traveled, but the river cannot go back. It is impossible to go back, and she has to take the risk of entering into the ocean water. So, in this poem, Khalil Gibran has called the river as she. It means that he has given human characteristics to a non living thing. We call it personification. The poet wants to give a powerful message to human beings who have many fears, like fear of death, fear of change, fear of losing identity, means personal identity, fear that everyone will forget them in this universe, and many more fears. So the river should think that it is getting a chance to become a part of such a big ocean, and only then fear will disappear. The message of the poem is that we must learn how to overcome fear by taking risk in our life. So the poem's name is Awake, and this poem was written by Sarojini Naidu. She was called the Nightingale of India by Mahatma Gandhi. Now, nightingale means a bird which sings very sweetly. Now, because Sarojini Naidu used to write poems to inspire Indians so that they get freedom for India, that's why she was called this. So, Sarojini Naidu was a freedom fighter. Her most famous work is The Golden Threshold, written in 1905. In this poem, Sarojini Naidu, she shows her love for her country, India. The poem is about love for Mother India, and it is a request to India to cut the ropes of the British rule and get freedom. So, students, remember that this poem was written before independence. So, it's all about getting freedom, motivating Indians to fight for it. So, Sarojini Naidu says that all Indians from all religions have come to worship, to serve, and to protect India. This poem is like a call to remove the British rule from India with the unity of all Indians. Like the Hindus, they have come with the flowers of worship. The Parsis have come with flames of hope. The Muslims have come with the sword of love. The Christians have come with a song of faith. And rest all religions, all creeds, they have come with dauntless devotion, means fearless affection, care for Mother India. In this poem, India is called a queen, a goddess, and told that we salute and we are going to protect it. The message of this poem is that it motivates Indians that with unity we can get freedom for India. So the poem's name is On the Grasshopper and Cricket, and this poem was written by John Keats. He was an English romantic poet who died very young at the age of 25. During his short life, he never got appreciation, but once he died, people saw his work and noticed that he wrote for the perfection of poetry. So his most famous works are first one, Ode on a Grecian Urn. Ode means a poem praising something. Here, Grecian urn means a Greek vase. So, this poem is about praising a Greek vase. Then the second famous work is Ode to a Nightingale, means a poem praising the bird nightingale, who sings very sweetly. His third famous work is Endymion, wherein a shepherd prince falls in love with a moon goddess. So this poem on the grasshopper and cricket is about the never-ending beauty of nature. The poet in this poem uses two symbols from the nature, that is, two insects he talks about. First insect is a grasshopper, and the second is a cricket. So the grasshopper sings in the summer season and it never gets tired of singing. If it gets tired, it will rest under a pleasant weed. Now, what is a weed? A weed is an unwanted plant in your garden which suddenly grows. You don't know how it grew. So the grasshopper will rest under the weed. Then comes the next season, that is winter. So on a silent winter night, a cricket sings a song. So the people who are half asleep in winter season, they hear the cricket song, but they think that the grasshopper is singing on a grassy hill because the cricket's voice is similar to the grasshopper's voice. So the cricket's voice comes from the stove in the kitchen. So the people, when they hear the cricket song in the winter season, they feel the warmth of summer in winter because they think that the grasshopper is singing and they remember summer. So this poem is of 14 lines. So any poem which is of 14 lines is called a sonnet. So in the first 8 lines of the poem, it talks about the grasshopper. We call the first 8 lines as octave, and the last 6 lines are called sestet. They talk about the cricket. So in this poem, these creatures are not really singing a song. They're just making a voice. But according to the poet, they are singing. The message of the poem is that the poetry of the earth is never ending, means never stopping. Because if one creature is making the sound in summer season, then in another season you have another creature making the sound. So it's a proof that our earth is living. The poem's name is Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S. This poem was written by Nissim Ezekiel. Now, he was a famous Indian poet who was writing in English after independence, so he's a post colonial writer. He studied in Mumbai and also in London. He was a talented and skilled poet. This poem, Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S., is a funny and cheerful poem in nature. It is a farewell speech. Farewell means goodbye. So, in this poem, there is one colleague. Her name is Miss Pushpa and she is going abroad, and all her colleagues have gathered together to wish her a safe journey. And this farewell party is kept for that. So, in this poem, when the speaker gives a speech about Miss Pushpa, her nature, her sweetness, her father, and how he diverts from the topic, all these things make this poem very funny, means humorous. This poem is also making fun of Indians, especially after independence, how they spoke in English. So when the speaker speaks, he explains the reason why everyone has gathered today, and then he speaks in funny Indian style English. He uses wrong sentences and uses present continuous tense, means ing form, for everything. And that's why the poem becomes very funny. The speaker praises Miss Pushpa. He says that she is the daughter of a famous advocate. Now, advocate is a person who can fight your case in the court. Then he forgets that whether her father is from Balsar or from Surat. And then he remembers that, Surat, yes, he's from Surat. So both this Balsar and Surat are cities of Gujarat. So you can say that this is Gujarati style Indian English being followed by the speaker. He says that Miss Pushpa is a sweet, kind, popular, and a helpful lady who always smiles. So when he says these things, he says it in a funny way. Like he says that she's popular among men also and women also. Instead of saying that everyone likes her, he also says that she's smiling and smiling without any reason, instead of saying that she always smiles. Then, at the very end of the poem, he also gets diverted from the topic. He says that his uncle's very old friend was cooking food very nicely when he was talking about her father at that time. And then suddenly he remembers that he is giving Miss Pushpa's farewell speech, and then he comes back to the topic. Then, after the speaker speaks, other speakers also speak a few good words about Miss Pushpa. At the end of the poem, Miss Pushpa herself gives a short speech before the party finishes. So, as I said earlier, this poem makes fun of Babu English, the English spoken by Indians after independence, and it shows small human mistakes and funny habits in speaking English. The message of the poem is that the poet humorously criticizes, makes fun of incorrect English while spreading positivity, kindness, and humor. Means he was funny while speaking. So the lesson's name is How to Avoid Foolish Opinions. It was written by Bertrand Russell. He was a famous mathematician, logician, and a multifaceted genius. His famous works are Principia Mathematica and the Problems of Philosophy. So, this lesson teaches us about how to avoid bad and foolish ideas. So, he tells us 5 ways in which we can do this. First one, observe yourself, means check if you have done something wrong. Second is look for biases, means if you have been unfair to someone, for example, supporting a boy's education and not a girl's education. So, this is a bias. Third is read a newspaper from outside, means instead of reading only our local newspapers, we must read newspapers from outside so that we come to know what is happening in the world. Our knowledge increases. Fourth is travel outside your neighborhood to remove prejudices. Prejudice means liking or hating something without any solid reason. For example, people started hating China after COVID 19, but once they visited China, they saw the hospitality of the people over there, and then their opinion about Chinese people changed. Fifth one is have a mock debate. Mock debate means sample debate in your mind with your imaginary opponent. It means that if you are going to fight with someone tomorrow, one day before you imagine that person talking in your mind and you also speak in your mind and have a proper discussion, and then you will realize that instead of fighting, you can talk and sort the matter and not get into foolish fights. Then the author tells us not to become like Aristotle. Aristotle was an economist who used to give dogmatic, foolish statements. He once believed that women have less teeth when compared to men, and he published in his books without any facts and any research. Then the author tells us not to follow foolish customs like the Chinese. So, like how our India was ruled by Britishers, like that, in the same way, China was ruled by Manchus. And these Manchus had foolish customs like men should have ponytails, that is, pigtails, and everyone must have small height and small feet because they believed that small is beautiful. So, China got freedom from Manchus in 1915, but after that, also, they continued these foolish customs. So Bertrand Russell is saying don't follow such customs which do not give any benefit to human beings. Then he also says that in arithmetic, which is a part of mathematics and it is knowledge, there is no bad treatment. But in theology, where people of different religions sit together and have a discussion, there bad treatment can happen. Lastly, he says that not to get flattered when someone praises you and not to have human pride as we are a small part of this big planet means we must not have proud in ourselves. The message of this lesson is that it makes us think about the mistakes of human beings and it also teaches us to not make foolish decisions. So the lesson's name is The Awakening of Women. It was written by K.M. Panikar. K.M. Panikar was a prolific writer. He has written many books and articles. So he studied in the Madras University and also in Oxford University. He published more than 50 books and articles in Malayalam and English language. In this lesson, he talks about how in India the position of women changed, transformed. So, the women of India participated in the Gandhian movement led by Gandhiji that gave them courage to participate into the national movement. that is freedom fight for India. So in this lesson, the two main movements that are talked about is first the Brahmo Samaj movement that started in 1828 by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and he fought against the sati system in India. Sati system means that when the husband dies, the wife also must die. So this system was stopped, and also child marriage. The women of India got freedom from legal, social and political restrictions when they participated in the Brahmo Samaj movement. So this Brahmo Samaj movement continued up till 1915, and from 1915 the Gandhian movement started, led by Gandhiji, and it lasted up till 1947. So Mahatma Gandhi was confused about women earlier, and then later on he realized that women are a powerhouse. They helped Mahatma Gandhi at every stage of the freedom struggle. They boycotted British goods, promoted Indian Swadeshi goods, they burned the liquor shops of the Britishers, and followed non-violent movement by not following the laws and rules of the Britishers. So after Gandhian movement, women progressed in life and got freedom from social slavery. Means earlier women were considered a slave in the society and they were into unwanted customs and practices. But now, after the Gandhian movement, women started getting their rights like independent property, right to freedom, right to marriage, and also prevention from temple services. And after these two movements, that is Brahmo Samaj and Gandhian movement, national movement, women got high positions and posts. Like for example, Sarojini Naidu, she became the first woman governor of UP, that is Uttar Pradesh. So the message of this lesson is that it has good details and proofs and facts that convince the readers that women have participated in the Indian freedom struggle and their status and position has changed. So the lesson's name is Solution to Plastic Pollution. This lesson is an article which is taken from the internet about Dr. Rajagopalan Vasudevan. He is an Indian scientist who works at TCE, Tyagarajar College of Engineering. He is known as the Plastic Roadman of India. He studied in the Madras University. So Dr. Rajagopalan Vasudevan, when he was working in TCE, that is Tyagarajar College of Engineering, he was doing a research project. It was about how to reuse and recycle plastic waste. So one day he heard wrong on the TV by a doctor saying that plastic gets dissolved in water, but actually it doesn't. Then he goes and conducts one experiment in his lab along with tar and bitumen. These are two substances used to construct roads. He used shredded pieces of plastic, that is small pieces. He heated plastic at about 160 degree, and when the temperature came to 155 degrees, he mixed it with tar and bitumen and laid on the hot gravel. Then he found the permanent solution to plastic waste. That is, we can use plastic waste to construct roads. He faced many problems and struggles, but Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, that time the president, motivated him that one day people are going to practice your invention. Then in India came the Clean India campaign. In this campaign, Dr. Vasudevan got a chance to talk about his useful technology. The benefits of this technology are that it is of low cost, it is a simple technology and a very good spot use of plastic waste. You can get waterproof roads for about 60 years and double road strength means heavy vehicles can also travel. There will be no rutting, cracking or potholes. Rutting means dents on the road, means the shape of the road has spoiled. Cracking means cracks on the road, and potholes means holes on the road. You might have seen potholes where the rainwater gets collected on the roads. Then next is that this technology has zero maintenance. You don't need to spend money because the source is garbage, trash, plastic wrappers, etc. So Dr. Vasudevan could have sold this technology abroad and earned millions of dollars, but he decided to give it free to the Indian government. So the message of this lesson is that we must serve our country and help improve life around us. So the lesson's name is Guilty and it is a one-act play. It was written by Horace J. Gardner and Bonnevier Arnaud. So these two are American writers and they are known as single author because they always wrote any work together. So there are some real life dramas that happen on the stage in 1 act, 2 act and 3 acts. Means parts, and real life audience will watch these plays. So this play has only one single part, that's why it's called a one act play. It is a short comedy play with a social message. So in this play there are three unities of time, place and theme. Means this play is happening at the same time, same place and theme. The people, the viewers of the play, the people who watch the play think that it is a very sweet play and say that small is beautiful. So this story is about a young engineer. His name is Jim Ryan, and because he didn't get a proper job, there is lack of employment in his area. That's why even though he is an engineer, he is working as a night watchman at Van King's warehouse. His mother is Marianne and she believes in dignity of labor, means respect your workplace and be loyal to your employers. One day, Mrs. Moore, who is Marianne's neighbor, comes to her house and she starts talking about Larry Wilson, a boy who was sentenced for 10 years of jail because he did fraud at his workplace. And then later on, she starts reading the newspaper and she reads about a robbery of a diamond pendant that happened at Van King's warehouse after the night watchman left. Then she questions Marianne, is this the same warehouse where your son Jim works? While Mrs. Moore was reading the newspaper, Marianne was cleaning the room and she put her hand into Jim's sweater's pocket. A handkerchief fell down, and when Marianne picked it up and opened the handkerchief, she found a diamond pendant and she was shocked. In shock, she made a sound. Hearing her voice, Mrs. Moore turns behind to see Marianne and asked her why is she looking so nervous. Marianne quickly keeps the handkerchief in her apron's pocket. Apron is what you wear when you are working in the kitchen. And she says, me? Nervous? Nothing so. And then Mrs. Moore, she leaves because her husband Michael is going to come home. After she goes, Marianne calls Jim's office and asks if Jim Ryan works there. Another man picks up the call and he says, I am the night watchman and no Jim Ryan works there. So Marianne went into shock that my son Jim has done such a thing. So in abroad, people do part-time jobs and one person who is coming in the morning shift won't know the person who is coming in night shift. So that's why the night watchman on the phone said, no Jim Ryan works here. Now Marianne thinks that her son Jim is a thief. Later, Jim enters the house with a stranger and the stranger was having some money in his hand. So Marianne thinks that Jim first stole the diamond and now he is going to sell it to this man. Jim, as he enters the house, starts searching for his sweater. He asked his mother, did you see my sweater? And his mother says that, Jim, you do not work at Van King's warehouse? And then Jim questions his mother, Ma, are you not thinking that I am the thief? Then his mother says, what am I supposed to think? And then Jim reveals the truth that he found this diamond outside a restaurant where two thieves accidentally dropped it. So Jim had decided to give it to the original owner. And then he reveals that the stranger who has come with him inside the house is Mr. Van King only. Jim was innocent and Marianne, she realizes her mistake that she mixed up two different situations. She had put two and two together. So she promises that she will never put two and two together again. Jim gives the diamond necklace to Mr. Van King and in return Jim gets a reward. At the end of the story, Marianne makes an apple pie for everyone. The message of this lesson is that parents play an important role in a child's success. The lesson's name is A Gift for Christmas and it was written by O. Henry. O. Henry's original name is William Sidney Potter. He is a very famous writer who has written 600 stories on American life. And this story, A Gift for Christmas, is taken from his collection of stories called The 4 Million. So this story is about a young couple named Jim and Della. So Jim is a 22-year-old thin man. He earns only $20 per week and they are very poor. And at such a young age, Jim has the responsibility of his family. On the other hand, Della is a frugal lady, means she saves money, and after saving for several months, the monthly savings are only $1.87. So it is the occasion of Christmas, and Della wanted to buy a gift for Jim, but she was sad that she didn't have enough money. So what she does is that she has a prized possession. Prized possession means something that is very precious and very important in your life. So Della's prized possession is her long brown beautiful hair. So she decides to sell it at a salon for money, and she sold her hair for $20. Then she used $1 from her monthly saving and she bought a platinum watch chain for Jim's ancestral gold watch. So Jim already has one gold watch, that is Jim's prized possession, and for that Della has bought a platinum watch chain so that Jim can wear it. Now, secretly, Jim also wants to buy a present for Della, so he decides to sell his ancestral gold watch, and from that money he buys ivory combs for Della's long brown beautiful hair. So both of them are thinking that their partners are going to use their gifts. But when Jim returns home, he is surprised to see that Della's hair has become short now and she cannot use the ivory combs. Della then consoles Jim and tells him that her hair will grow back again. And then she says, "Look, Jim, what I have got for you, a platinum watch chain for your gold watch." And here the story ends. So in this story there is an irony. Irony means that you had thought something will happen, but exact opposite has happened. So in this story both of them decided that their partners will use their gifts, but they were not able to because Della's hair is short now and Jim has already sold his gold watch. The message of the story is that the value of a gift is in the giver. Means the person who gives you a gift, his or her emotions matter and not the gift. So, for any relationship to build, we need love, sacrifice, and kindness. So, the lesson's name is The Doctor's Word, and it was written by R.K. Narayan. So, he was one of the leading contemporary writers of his time, along with Mulkraj Anand and Raja Rao. He has a writing career that lasted for 60 years, and he is famous for writing stories on Malgudi days. So, Malgudi is an imaginary town. So, this story, The Doctor's Word, is about two main characters. First is Dr. Raman, who is a trusted doctor. He works at Lolly Extension and he is a very honest man, a trusted doctor, and he is also the friend of Gopal for 40 years. His fees is rupees 25, which was very expensive at that time, and patients visit him only when they are very serious, means the health is extremely bad. So, due to Dr. Raman's busy schedule, he did not meet Gopal for 3 months. One day, Gopal's son comes to Dr. Raman's clinic and informs him that Gopal's health is not well since 1.5 months. After hearing about Gopal's health, Dr. Raman immediately goes to Gopal's house and checks him. At that time, proper hospital facilities were not there, so he feels the need of conducting Gopal's operation and he conducts his operation at home itself. After the operation, Dr. Raman realizes that Gopal is not going to live. He will not survive. But he keeps him under observation. At night, Gopal wakes up and he asks Dr. Raman that if he will live or die because Gopal has to sign a property will. Otherwise, Subbiah and his gang members will trouble Gopal's wife and children for property. Now, Dr. Raman is very confused. He never says lies to patients about their health, but he wanted to give some hope to Gopal. So that's why, for the first time in his life, he tells him that you are safe. Then Gopal, after hearing this, he says that Dr. Raman, you are saying this, that means I am safe. And then Gopal gets some hope. Dr. Raman's assistant stays with Gopal and Dr. Raman leaves. Next morning, when Dr. Raman comes to Gopal's house, he sees that a miracle has happened and Gopal is out of danger. Then Dr. Raman informs Gopal's wife, who was crying, that don't look so unhappy, lady. Your husband will live to be 90. Means right now he is 50, he will live for 40 more years. It was a mystery for Dr. Raman that how Gopal was saved from a big attack. So, the message of this story is that we must understand the value of soothing words and its positive impact, which can actually save a person's life. So the lesson's name is The Woman on Platform Number 8, and this story was written by Ruskin Bond. Now, Ruskin Bond is a very famous children's story writer, and his most famous work is The Blue Umbrella. He is the winner of Padma Shri Award and Padma Bhushan Award. He is an Indian writer with a British accent and he is still alive. So, this story is about a 12-year-old boy Arun who is waiting at Ambala railway station till midnight. He is waiting for his train to come to go to his boarding school. He is a confident boy, a good observer, and travels alone without fear. Then comes a simple woman in a white sari. She comes and talks to Arun that what are you doing here? And then she offers him food. Arun was going to refuse out of shyness, but then she holds Arun's hand and takes him to the station dining room, and over there she orders tea, samosas and jalebis, and then she starts talking to Arun. She questions him about his friends, his school, and Arun was so hungry that he starts eating, and he also answers to the questions of the strange woman, and because of the food they develop a bond. Arun starts liking her because she listens to him like a mother. After that, both of them go towards the luggage where they have kept. On the way, they saw that a boy has jumped from one railway platform to the other, and the woman thought that the boy has come under the train, so she closes her eyes and holds Arun's hand. Then Arun tells her that the boy is safe now. Then they meet Satish, who is Arun's classmate, on the station, and he has come with his mother. So Satish's mother thinks that with Arun, the woman is Arun's mother, and she looks at them as if they are poor. And then she starts lecturing Arun that you must not travel alone and so and so. The strange lady tells to Satish's mother that Arun can travel alone. Arun starts hating Satish's mother because she was a lady full of attitude and show off in her behavior, and she was also rude. She points her big fat finger at Arun and starts lecturing him again. Now Arun was easily able to differentiate between good people and bad people. Arun liked the strange lady for her nature, her kindness, her calmness on her face, and her deep voice. When the train arrived, Satish and Arun sat in the train, and before leaving, Arun said to the strange lady, "Goodbye, mother." So, the message of this story is that it teaches us how to identify simple and nice people and people who do things for show off. So, the lesson's name is An Interview, and this lesson was written by Richard Jordan. He was a surgeon, means a doctor who performs operations. He was also an anesthetist, means a person who gives anesthesia to patients before the operation to make them unconscious. So, when he was becoming a doctor, at that time he used to write, and his doctor series of novels became very popular. He used to share his own experience, and this story is also his personal life experience. So, when Richard Jordan was 18-year-old, he was a fast, worthy, wings 3/4 rugby player. So rugby is also a kind of sports where you have forward and backward players, and he played in the difficult position, that is wings 3/4. So Richard Jordan wanted admission into St. Swithin's Medical School. So for that he had to attend an interview. So he goes and attends the interview. He was sitting in a room thinking why he wants to become a doctor, and suddenly the door opens and the secretary of the dean of the college has come to interview Richard Jordan. So the dean of the college trusts the secretary a lot. If the secretary says that the candidate is not good, then he will not be given an admission and told no vacancy. But if the secretary approves, only then the candidate is selected. So the secretary is an old, thin man. He asked Richard Jordan three questions. First question is that have you been to a public school? Second question is, do you play rugby, football or association? Third question is, do you think you can afford to pay the fee? So to all these three questions, Richard answered yes. Richard says that yes, I have studied in a public school. Yes, I play rugby. I am a wings 3/4 player. Yes, I can afford to pay the fees. Then the secretary takes Richard Jordan to the dean's office. Dean is the head of the school. His name is Dr. Lionel Loftus. And the dean also asked same three questions to Richard, and he was very impressed by Richard's thin personality and also the fact that he is a wings three-quarter player means he is a sports candidate and the school already required a wings three-quarter player. So he announced that Richard, you are selected in this interview. After the interview, Richard thinks that the questions were not related to the profession and the interview was very easy. It was superfluous. So sometimes based on your talent also you can get admission. The message of this story is that it teaches us the process and procedure and how to conduct interviews in real life. Students, if you think I was able to help you, then don't forget to hype this video and don't forget to contact me on my Telegram ID if you want easy notes. Do check out the playlist that I gave in the comment section and hit the bell icon to get notified for my next upcoming video.